You guys still hear me? I'm on ISO. Yeah, cool. All right, guys, I've got you on ISO.
Cool.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry. I had muted
You know, you're fine.
Can you
Double
do
muted
that
you.
while we're in commercials or no?
No, because
we'll be muted.
Because the commercial audio, the commercials run through the same channel.
Gotcha.
Through the USB that you're coming through. So
Right,
now
that makes sense.
the music's coming through the iPad, so I can ISO you.
Gotcha.
I can't do it, yeah. Unfortunately.
That is
All right,
unfortunate.
we're 1 minute away. Stand by.
Stand.
What's your top story? Or do you have one?
Top story. We had one. I saw something earlier, but I forgot what it was. Crap.
All right, I'll follow you.
You got to start writing shit down.
Dude, I was on the road.
Oh. You got to start using that dang your phone recorder or something. Shit.
30 seconds. Stand by.
Come on.
The following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. Welcome into a Hump Day edition of Main Street Sports. Today on the program, our weekly visit with Heather Williams, WCYB-TV, talking a little NASCAR, vroom vroom going around in circles. Also, Maren Angus with Running Polls Podcast, our softball resident expert, the NCAA tournament about to begin. We'll check back in with her, plus high school baseball, softball, regional, sectionals, basically waiting to see who gets into the spring fling. It's all working itself out this week. Chris and Mo will talk all about it from the mid-state perspective. Plus, it's Wild and Wacky Wednesday. Oh, yes. Wait till you see Mo's Wild and Wacky shirt. Here's the Hall of Famer in baby blue, Mo Patton with the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao. Happy Wednesday, gentlemen.
Well, it's Wednesday. I'm not talk about Wild and Wacky. I think it's Wild and Wacky that we are here in my house, and the reason being that our typical studio is unavailable, I guess is the best way to put it.
Cut the cord.
Yeah, they've cut the cord
Not
many
on us,
across
on us.
America, but unfortunately the cord cutting has relegated us to my sunroom.
It looks good, though.
What's
Especially,
up, Mo? How you doing over
Most
there?
baby blue looks really good, Mo, in that setting. I think so.
It must be the lighting. No, actually, as I stopped at a convenience store on the way over here to Chris's abode, there was someone in line that complimented me on the color in particular, not so much the logo, but which was kind of disappointing. But I think our first guest will get a kick out of this ensemble. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, it should be fun. Should be fun. We got a lot to get to today. Heather Williams, of course, Maren, Angus. I'm excited to talk about some college softball. It's the most wonderful time of the year for me. This is one of my favorite tournaments because college softball is really as intense as anything in college sports, including March Madness. You can go argue with a brick wall if you want to, but it gets crazy late in the NCAA tournament. So I'm looking forward to it. Mo, when I was trying to find a top story today, the only thing that jumped out at me was the fact that, high school baseball and softball they're in full swing. We have narrowed down the field to the people you will hear about in the rundown. All of these teams who are playing today will advance except for the D2 teams, right? The D2 teams will not advance. It's a best of 3 who goes to Murfreesboro, but at least in softball. But all the public schools get one more chance after today to punch their ticket to Murfreesboro, where we will be next week, and you can follow along with our coverage at ms_sports today. You can follow at Main Street Preps, where there'll be great coverage throughout the mid-states. You can follow, of course, this show, which will be a special edition Spring Fling show hosted, Mo, by George Plaster, who will be keeping you up to date with phone calls and updates from Main Street Preps reporters from across Murfreesboro, whether it be baseball, softball, track, soccer, tennis, could be anything.
I'm looking forward to having George on hand for some high school sports coverage and being able to help feed into that as will our other Main Street Preps properties, sports folks. So should be a lot of fun and great opportunity for folks who aren't able to actually make it to Murfreesboro or to make it to all of the venues in Murfreesboro.
Yeah, that's
giving
the
them
thing.
the ability to keep up with some of the other stuff that's going on, particularly baseball, because it's going to be spread out all over the place, and the ability to let you know what's happening at Riverdale while you're at Blackman or whatever else it's going to be big. So.
It is a massive help, and it helps us even. We kind of get a chance to keep up with where do we need to go after the game we're covering and that sort of thing. So, and we can obviously update on Twitter. Hey, the winner of this game is going to take on so and so who's playing over there. Over at the Siegel or whatever. It really is a great way to keep up with what's going on for specifically Main Street Preps teams. Now, of course, you heard yesterday our friend Chip Walters and friend of the show, Neil Price, will be making sure that you are well-versed statewide.
From Mountain City to Memphis, as they like to say.
There you go. And they will be taking care of all of those. But if you are just incredibly interested in what's going on Main Street, in Main Street teams across the mid-state, then you can listen to George and get the updates there.
And for what it's worth, I'm scheduled to be on with Chip and Neil actually on Wednesday and Thursday, I believe it is. Let me double check that real quick.
Oh,
or at least earlier in the week I was, unless something's changed. I guess I still am. Here we go. Yeah, a little afternoon on both Wednesday and Thursday, 12:10 p.m. specifically, just to kind of help catch folks up from Mountain City to Memphis on what's going on with folks in our coverage area. So looking forward to being on with those two guys.
Yeah, that'll be before you can tune into George from 2 to 4 each day. So that will get you up to date daily, Tuesday through Friday. All right, so let's talk about those teams that are going to be playing tonight and get you yesterday's results from the pitch and other diamonds. and also today's schedule from several diamonds. So back to you, JP, for today's rundown.
This is the rundown. All right. Hold on. There we go. Getting it ready. All right. Welcome back. We've got Tuesday results in softball. We had one game in action. It was Smyrna defeating Rockvale yesterday. So that means that was an elimination game, if I'm not mistaken. So region semis will be tonight or tomorrow, and then the region and the sectionals will be Friday. All right, boys soccer yesterday. Station Camp defeated Antioch 7-0. It was Page 2-0 over Fairview. Franklin 2-1 over Columbia. Harpeth defeated Fayetteville 3-0. Hendersonville 4-0 over Hillsboro. Henry County 1-0 over Clarksville Northeast. Madison Academic Magnet defeated Loretto 9-0. Murfreesboro Central Magnet 9-1 over Sycamore. A lot of polarization in some soccer matches. Nothing?
The magnet schools.
The magnet
I got
schools?
it. Gotcha. Okay.
A lot of pull from the North Pole. Okay, Oakland 2-1 winners over Smyrna. STEM Academy 7-0 over Smith County. Valor Collegiate 4-0 over Greenbrier. Merrill High defeated Watertown 3-0 your final there. It was White House Heritage 1-0 over Green Hill. College baseball yesterday, midweek action, in-state games. Vanderbilt 7-2 over MTSU. Tennessee 18-0 over Belmont. And the Braves 3-0 winners over the Brew Crew last night. They are currently in action. Chris will give us an update, I'm sure, at the end of this rundown, so stand by for that. It is on the schedule today, high school baseball. Both of these teams, or all of these teams, will also be in action Friday.
Correct.
So this is not an elimination round today. Moore County at Eagleville, Gordonsville at East Robertson, Good Pasture hosting Evangelical Christian, although that may be D2.
Yeah, any of the D2,
right?
just
Yep.
Who knows?
FACS at Grace Christian Franklin. That's a 5 o'clock first pitch. Montgomery Central in D1 at Greenbrier. Mount Juliet, Hendersonville. Rossview at Henry County. Loretto hosting White House Heritage. Happy birthday, Coach Lamb, by the way. I saw Mo retweeting that.
Yeah.
White House Heritage, as I mentioned, CPA and McCauley, 6:30 tonight. North Point Christian and Clarksville Academy. Centennial at Ravenwood, 6:30. Riverdale, Stewart's Creek at 6:30. York Institute and Watertown. Softball today, Westmoreland and Bledsoe County, 5 p.m. Summit at Centennial. Columbia Academy has a pair of games against Silverdale Academy. They start at 5. Second one around 7. Montgomery Central at Creekwood. Grace Christian Knoxville is at DCA today at 5. 5:30, we'll see Gordonsville hosting Joe Burns. Eagleville at Huntland at 4. Davidson Academy, Lakeway Christian. They'll play 2.
Where? In White Pine.
Where? In the middle of nowhere. 4
That's
o'clock, right. First of 2 for that one in White Pines, Tennessee. Beach at
Singular.
Summit.
Yeah, just one pine.
One
white
pine.
pine. Just one white pine.
Just like one Chestnut and Joey Chestnut.
Yeah,
exactly.
Stewart's Creek at Smyrna, 6:30. Beach at Smyrna.
Huh? I don't think that's right.
I don't know. Okay.
I think it's Stewart's Creek. I don't think it's Beach.
Okay. Well, Beach is at Smyrna. Stewart's Creek is at Smyrna, according to this. So.
Yes. Well,
No.
I don't think Beach is at Smyrna. I think
Gotcha.
Stewart's Creek is at Smyrna.
Gotcha.
That is.
Stewart's Creek is the one we think is playing. That's got the time, 6:30.
Correct.
So we'll go with that one. Clarksville at Springfield, Loretto at Summertown, Beach at Wilson Central. All right.
That's how you know Beach is not at Smyrna.
There you go. Yeah, because they're at Wilson Central. All right. What's the latest on the Braves?
It is the top of the 6th, and they are leading the Brewers 4-2 with 1 out and 1 on.
All right. There you go. That's your rundown. Brought to you by Insert Your Business Here. It can be you.
It could very well be you. All right, we're going to take a quick break because Heather Williams will join us here on the other side of the break to talk about little NASCAR. Got to love that. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Bone and Joint. There she is. I see her. What's going on? Hope you guys are having a great day. Mo, it's time to talk a little NASCAR. And normally you are kind of over in the corner just chilling for the next 15 minutes, but not today.
Well, I'll still be over in the corner chilling for the next 15 minutes. I'll just be chilling with I'll speak without speaking. Heather, what do you think?
I think that I always want to hear Mo's opinion, and nobody should put Mo in the corner.
Can you see Mo's shirt?
Clearly she can't.
I can't look. I have that shirt. I love that shirt.
Oh, well, we can be twinsies then. Yeah,
we can. We'll have to work that out one day.
I figured with it being NASCAR Wednesday, I saw this online a couple of weeks ago and decided I had to have it. So there we go. And there would be no other day to wear it than Wednesdays with Heather. So there you go. Heather Williams with WCYB-TV out of Bristol, joining us here on Main Street Sports today, as she does every Wednesday during NASCAR season. And Heather, I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to the race this weekend, but I don't think your prediction panned out.
No, it did not. But so it goes. I've never been one that's wanted to take my predictions to Vegas, so I would always preface that with a grain of salt. But it was great racing. I mean, the finish between Kyle Larson and Kurt Busch was really entertaining, especially when you take into consideration it was Kansas, and that's generally not the case. I think races are usually not that entertaining. So I enjoyed the race at Kansas. I thought it was a huge win for 23-11. And
huge.
Yeah, I mean, and both their teams were really good. I mean, Bubba Wallace was a bad pit stop, 3 or 4 bad pit stops away from a top 5 finish. I mean,
unreal.
They've got some real issues they need to clean up on that pit crew there. But
I was getting ready to say, I think we've characterized his race in that manner more than once.
Yeah, no, they've got some issues, and even right after he jumped out of the race, as he was talking about how happy he was for Kurt Busch, Denny Hamlin was talking about how they got to get those issues fixed on the 23 car. I mean, Bubba's running top 5 in the final pit stop. They just need a good-ish pit stop. and he's going to finish in the top 5, maybe compete for a win. Instead, a tire goes bouncing down pit road. They have to go to the tail end of the longest line, and he still races his way back in the final stage of that, the final segment of that race, for a top 10 finish. So, I mean, that car was fast.
He had a great car.
Bubba ran great, and I think Toyotas, more importantly, all of them were in the top 10. I think they have finally figured out, or maybe it's just, they're just better at the mile and a half, but I think they finally figured out what was kind of bugging them earlier in the season. And now I think you're going to see Toyota tick off a ton of wins.
Heather, at what point does a team just get embarrassed over those kind of fundamental errors?
Honestly, I think they should already be there. If I'm being honest, they should
already
already
be
are. Yeah. I asked, I do a weekly show here on WCYB where I have a guy who's a crew chief. He lives here locally. He crew chiefs one of the truck series teams. And I asked him, and he said, at this point, it might just need to be, you're going to have to make some changes. Like, some people are going to have to get fired, but there's a reason why those are the guys, because generally teams have, 5 guys that go to the track, but they might have 7 guys or 8 guys on their pit crew. But there's a reason why those 5 go every week. They're the best 5. But honestly, there comes a point where, a guy's not hitting in the big leagues, you send him down. There's a reason why that guy's in the minors, but he might have more upside if you just give him reps. So it's the same kind of thing. There just comes a time where you're just going to have to bite the bullet, say, our pit stops might be a little slower for the next 2 weeks, but they're definitely going to be cleaner. They're not going to take us out of contention. And then hopefully the team will grow. And I think that the 23 team is getting close to that point.
To get back to Kurt's win, it's just really impressive how really impressive his career has been. 20 years, more than 20 years since his first win. He gets a win on Sunday. He's won the Daytona 500. This is a Hall of Fame driver that we're watching in the tail end of his career continue to be competitive.
Yeah, and the thing that's so impressive about Kurt, and the thing that I loved about when 2311 brought him on, is he's the kind of guy that can take a team that's not quite reached its potential, figure out what's wrong with it, and help fix it. I mean, you look at what he did. He set the stage for Martin Truex Jr. to win his championship with Furniture Row Racing. Nobody really remembers that was like a back marker car that was running around that couldn't figure things out. Then Kurt got into his little personal issues where he got dismissed for Penske, landed at Front Row Motorsports and got them into the championship, or Furniture Row Motorsports, and got them into the playoffs, like almost overnight. Took a team that was like, Spire Motorsports now, and made them a contender in the playoffs. And his ability to jump in cars and make them better is what makes him so impressive. So I think it was an incredibly smart move by 2311 to bring him on board. And I think eventually his ability to do that, and the talent and the marketability of Bubba Wallace, who's bringing in the sponsors and the money, I think that's going to eventually, and they're going to expand, right? They're going to eventually be probably a 3 or maybe a 4-car team. But those pieces is what's going to eventually make them successful.
Mo, you want to hear a fun fact, a little stat about Kurt Busch now? He has now won a race in all 4 manufacturers, as a Chevy, a Ford, Toyota, and a Dodge. That's wild.
Well, it's wild. He's one of the few people that's been around to see all 4 of those manufacturers.
That's true.
How long has Dodge been out of the sport?
Dodge has been gone for a while. But that's just again a testament to his durability, the way that he's been able to, he's won everything. He has won the Daytona. He's won the Coca-Cola. He's won a championship. He is the ultimate kind of the under the radar guy.
And he's one
because
of those guys
Kyle, I guess, gets so much of the media press because he's so hated.
Well, and I think when you talk about strictly stock car racing, Kyle probably does have a little bit more talent. But I mean, Kurt is the kind of guy that can jump into anything, as you mentioned, and win. I mean, it's one of the more underrated feats that he's had in his career is when he pulled the double. I think he actually I think he finished the top 10 of both races when he ran the double, which is, I mean, that's so hard to do. And what's more impressive, I think his better finish was actually at the Indy 500. I think he was 6th in that race. I mean, he can drive anything you put him in. He can drive, which is what's really impressive about Kurt.
No question. This weekend, the All-Star race, which is always interesting to say the least. I mean, you never know what you're going to get. And
I'm curious, Chris and Mo, if you want to weigh in. Do you like it in Texas?
I like the All-Star race being in different places. I think Texas is not a great place, but you know, when they started moving it around, I thought that was the better idea. So let's move it. Let's keep moving it around.
All right. Because here's my. Oh, go ahead, Bo.
I would think that the more different crowds you can expose it to, probably the better off. I guess if you were going to anchor it, where would you have it? I mean,
what was that? Charlotte for years.
It was Charlotte forever.
Yeah. And that's what I was thinking. But
it only moved to Bristol because of the COVID. They couldn't get North Carolina had the lockdowns on crowds and Tennessee didn't. So they came to Bristol that first year.
Well,
and that's what
Tennessee did.
Of course. I mean, that's not a surprise. But that's what started it moving around. So anyway, I pitched this last night on my show. This is my idea. If I won the lottery and was running NASCAR, this is what I think they should do. I think they should fix up all of these old tracks, these kind of halfway defunct tracks, the not all the way defunct, they're still running things, the Rockinghams, the North Wilkesboros, the Nashville Fairgrounds. And I think they should bounce the All-Star race around to those tracks. Someplace they don't run any other time of the year, someplace which has a lot of nostalgia, some things that would get new and old fans excited about racing in different markets than they're normally in. I think it'd be so much fun.
I like the sound of that.
I mean, even like Kentucky, which doesn't have a cup race right now, or Chicagoland, you know, those tracks are ready to hold races now. They just don't have cup races because they lost their cup date. I mean, I think that would be fun to bounce around to all those tracks and all those different markets.
If you took these guys today to Rockingham,
oh man,
yeah,
I mean,
we probably tear up some cars, but 100%, it would be a phenomenal. Just the nostalgia of kind of like Darlington, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the nostalgia is what really makes that race that much more fun. Taking these folks to places like that would be incredible. I think it would be a phenomenal idea. I'm all for it. And if we can get that to the people who make decisions, hey, they're clearly open to off the wall type things, Heather, with
well, and I think the thing is too, I think the thing too about the All-Star race is that it's a made for TV event anyway. I mean, they sell tickets to that, but if you've ever gone to it, it's awful in person because there's so much downtime because they do so much stuff in between the races that it's actually not that much fun to see in person. So you would need huge grandstands or huge infrastructure to run those races because it's not really made for in-person racing anyway. The one time I went to the All-Star game, the All-Star race, I was like, this is it? Because this is awful. I mean, it was great. I love watching it on TV, but in person, there's just a lot of dead time. It's just a lot of sitting around.
We need to get some folks with T-shirt cannons out there.
Or what is the old things they used to do at Texas with the motorcycle jumpers and all that kind of crazy stuff?
We can do that
in between. Yeah,
we just need to have some intermission entertainment. That's all we need.
I think they're doing some concerts and stuff this year in Texas to help help that along. But yeah, for sure.
I like the idea. I really do. I think it's a great idea, Heather. And as far as the race and how it works, it's a little different. Obviously, like you said, it's made for TV. It's not exactly made for, hey, here's how we're going to do this. The All-Star race is really just about, honoring these guys who have had a great year so far.
Yeah, I mean, all All-Star games, races, whatever, are really not about what the sport's about. I mean, I think NASCAR does a better job than most because, in the All-Star basketball game, nobody plays defense. Well, there's not such a thing. You can't just not do something and drive a car at 200 miles an hour. So it's a little bit different than other All-Star games. And they're also not trying to manufacture, like baseball tried to do for years, manufacture drama with whoever wins this is going to get home field through the playoffs or something ridiculous like that, right? They're racing for $1 million, and that's what they're racing for. So that's all that it's about. But the thing
Show
that
me the
bothers me,
Benjamins.
yeah, the thing that bothers me about the All-Star race more than anything else is that they change the format every year. How do I know if it's good or not if it's different every year? I mean, it's just weird to me.
I'll agree with that. It is a weird situation.
This year is so convoluted. I couldn't explain it to you if you asked me.
Well, and that's I'm trying to look and trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And it says guide to all-star race format, and I can't even read this to figure it out. I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's like if you run some laps, and then you have to do like a timed pit stop in there, and people are shuffled back and running order, and it's super convoluted.
No speed limit on pit road
for those timed pit stops that
right.
they're doing. The ones, yeah, which is weird and seems dangerous to me. But I mean, I don't know. We'll see how it plays out on TV. I mean, they always seem to entertain, right? I mean, there's been some amazing moments in the All-Star race, so I think it'll work out, but who knows? And what do we have to compare it to? Because they've never run anything like this before. So
that's their plan. What do you have to compare it to?
If it's always different, you can never complain because
it's always different.
If you don't like it, wait till next year.
Well, kind of like the weather in Tennessee.
Like the weather
if you
here.
don't like it, it'll change.
Just wait. It'll be all right. All right, Heather, well, we appreciate it. I want to ask you to tell us who's going to win because who knows?
Yeah, because obviously I'm very good at this, right? Because it has not gone particularly well.
It's okay.
But I will say, based on the way that the 1.5 mile tracks have gone in the last few weeks for the Toyotas, and based on the fact that they clearly, other than the 23-11-23, have the best pit crews, the 18, 19, and 11 specifically are outstanding, and pit crews are a lot of this. I see the winners coming from one of those three camps, and just based on how they ran last week, I think I'm going to go with Denny Hamlin this week.
Denny Hamlin, old sticks.
Just because, I mean, he had a little pits issue, not as big as Bubba's, but a small one, and he raced back into the top 5. He was lightning quick last week, and generally he has one of the, if not the best pit crews in the garage, and the pit stops are so much a part of the format this year that that's why I like the Gibbs cars specifically, but Denny as the winner.
So you're saying Bubba Wallace doesn't have a chance this weekend?
I mean, maybe if they'll loan him Denny's pit crew for his pit stop, he might have a chance. Otherwise, I think it's probably a long shot for Bubba this week. But he's in this year, right? He won a race. He's in. He doesn't have to worry about a fan vote or racing his way in the Open. He is in the All-Star race this year, so that's exciting for him and for the sport.
You can't beat that.
Both those 23-11 teams are now in, with Kurt winning last week, so that's big for them.
Should be a fantastic event. Make sure to watch it on TV because apparently being there sucks.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I have friends that work for SMI. They're going to be mad at me for saying that if they see this interview. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the All-Star race in person.
It's okay.
Great on TV though. Definitely watch.
The good thing is next week we get to talk about Charlotte. So that's always fun.
600, one of the legendary races.
The 600. Heather, thank you so much.
600, that's a lot.
You gonna sit there for 4.5, 5 hours and watch it, Mo?
I just feel bad for the guys that have to drive it.
I know, right? I drove 600 miles home to Kansas City. It took me 15 hours, so they're going to be making a little bit more time than me.
No. Should be fun. Should be fun. Heather, thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
All right.
That is Heather Williams, WCYB-TV, talking NASCAR. She does each and every Wednesday at 2:15. When we come back, we will talk a little more high school stuff and update you on a score we missed in the rundown. So stick around. Main Street Sports Day presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint is back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Again, hey, welcome back in. Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. As we told you earlier, high school sports are winding down. We are less than 2 weeks away from the finale, a week and a half, really. So it's going to be a lot of high school sports the rest of the way, and we hope that you guys are looking forward to finishing up high school baseball, softball, tennis, track, and soccer, boys soccer seasons. So it should be a lot of fun. Mo, you were at some soccer last night and nearly had a rain out.
I can get us a rain out. Yeah, had some sprinkler malfunctions at the flagship for Columbia Central's matchup with Franklin. And it was late in the first half. Franklin was leading 1-0. They broke while they got the sprinklers shut off. And right after, Columbia Central scored. So, unfortunately,
it was the only time they would score.
It was the only time they'd score. Franklin scored again about 6 minutes into the second half, and that was the way it ended, 2-1 Franklin. So, good for Franklin, not so good for Central.
Yeah, you know, Columbia Central, who made a trip to the state tournament last year,
where they lost to Franklin,
really missing Victor Ramirez.
Well, he was there. Yeah, they were there. Just the defenses are really accounting for him, or did really account for him coming down the stretch. Both he and Brewer Wall. Independence did a good job on them in a 1-0 win in last week's District 12 AAA. That's 3A's championship game. And then Franklin again last night. Columbia Central's only score came from Randy Gray. So, the two big guns, again, Ramirez and Wall, kind of held in check down the stretch. And that was tough.
Yeah. But when you're the person that is the key, folks are going to key on you.
When those two, as long as those two have been the two key cogs offensively for Central, it's not like they're sneaking up on anybody. People know. So.
Yeah, they absolutely do. So that ends the Lions season. Franklin moves on, and they'll take on Brentwood in the region finals before the sectionals, which will be taking place, I assume, Friday. Saturday. That's right. Saturday. Tomorrow is the region finals, and then Saturday is the sectionals. That makes sense. Baseball Well, before we get to baseball, soccer, we missed a score earlier.
Yeah, we did. I'm not sure how it happened, but Richland with a 3-1 win over Republic in the Region 5A semifinals. And so Richland will host Harpeth at 6 tomorrow down in Linville. And if you're heading that way, be sure and run through 31 South on your way. Thank me later.
Ain't no doubt, and get a fried pie while you're at it. Baseball, we have several teams in the mid-state who are vying for a shot at Murfreesboro. And, there's an article on mainstreetpreps.com, Mo, what mid-state teams have the best chance to win a state championship. And this is from Tyler Palmatier. It says Class 1A's local frontrunner is Eagleville, 31-2 on the year. But, that's a team that we've seen a couple of times over the last couple of years, and they are fantastic.
They're solid. They are solid. Brandon Basham does a great job with that bunch over there. And, they're definitely on the cusp. They've got some dudes. One of them being a Mr. Baseball finalist from the list that we read off yesterday from the Tennessee Baseball Coaches Association, Nathan Brewer. They had a kid last year that they sent up to UT. So that program has quietly, kind of put itself on an elite level here over the last few years.
Well, not surprising considering who their coach is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Other teams not far behind, he has Gordonsville, who is sitting at 24-11, but they take on East Robertson Wednesday.
The defending state champs.
Who is not on this list.
Yeah, I think they lost a lot from last year.
So there you go. In 2A, local frontrunner Watertown, not far behind, Loretto. Not surprising to see Loretto's name mentioned here. They're not – this isn't, Blade Tidwell and Ryan Weathers led Loretto, but still a pretty solid team.
They're a little younger than they were in those 2 seasons. I mean, Clint Seymour is one of their key players, and he's a sophomore, I think. But they've got some talent down there. And second-year coach Zach Curtis, former major leaguer, former MTSU guy, Zach Curtis, has done a really good job stepping in behind, as JP mentioned earlier, the birthday boy, Gary Lamb down there. So should be interesting. Loretto plays in the region finals tonight against White House Heritage, I believe.
That's correct.
So, and again, as Chris mentioned, both those teams are assured of sectional berths on Friday. Hosting or traveling will depend on tonight's outcome. But yeah, I think as long as Loretto is active in the postseason, you got to keep an eye on them.
No question.
Move up to Class 2A this year.
That's right. In 3A, local frontrunner Greenbrier, 21-7-1 on the year. The random tie. And not far behind, Tullahoma, who obviously had the special fall with their football team. But Greenbrier, I've heard a lot of great things about them, especially listening to the MSP North podcast with Brady McAtamney and Blaine Keller. Blaine Keller makes sure to keep Greenbrier on the radar up in Robertson County. And this team seems to be really solid. So looking forward to that 3A tournament. And then in Class 4A, Mount Juliet and Hendersonville look to be the mid-state's top options.
And it's going to be interesting because are they not in the same region?
Yeah. Do they? I think they play. Did they play tonight?
I'd not be surprised. I'm not sure exactly what that region up that way.
Mount Juliet at Hendersonville. That is. That being said,
so somebody's going to have to
cross-sectional.
Somebody's going to have to win a road game to get to Murfreesboro.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past either of these teams to win a road game.
Right.
And especially when you've got Mount Juliet, got Austin Hunley, Tennessee signee, 9-0 on the year, 0.69 ERA. Justin Lee hitting .384 with 29 homers.
What
You heard me. 29 homers.
is that? Region 5.
Yes, it is.
So that's the region that Ravenwood and Centennial will match up with.
Oh, and we get a chance to talk to Centennial's baseball coach tomorrow, right?
We're talking to Centennial softball coach.
Softball coach. Okay. Well, we had a discussion yesterday. I didn't know who we ended up with.
Yeah.
If we wanted to go baseball or softball.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Division II, Grace Christian, who has just been sensational all year long in D2A and Good Pasture. Those two right there probably going to fight to the finish for a state title. And CPA and Montgomery Bell Academy in AA and D2, always a threat. I guess CPA, the defending champs, who lost quite a bit. So
You're talking about 4 great coaches there too, with Brad Myers, and Jim Carter at Grace Christian and Good Pasture, and then Larry Nesbitt and Mike Anderson with CPA and MBA. Mike Anderson, a former catcher at MBA, played with R.A. Dickey and Stephen Bess, a couple of guys who got drafted, and great program over there carrying that on. So it'll be fun to watch how D2A and D2AA shake out here.
no question. All right. We will get to more later. We may dip into some softball in that final segment because we hear the music, which means it's time to get out of this segment and head to the next one. So stick around here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be back after this.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee Sports Editor, 3-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best looking girl Bananarama, so the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back in. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. You know, Mo, who spoke at your graduation? Did you guys have a speaker?
My high school graduation? Yeah. Oh, God. You got to realize.
Did you have one, though? I mean, whether you remember it or not, did you have one?
I feel like we had one, but I couldn't tell you who it was.
But I can't
on
either.
A bet. Yeah.
I mean, mine was much more recent than yours, and I couldn't tell you. I mean, who knows? I don't know what they said. Couldn't have cared less before I got out of the building, to be honest with you. I mean, that's just who I am. But Taylor Swift delivered the commencement speech to NYU today, and I feel like that's really funny, and here's why. And Sarah will tell you, she probably remembers this too. When Taylor Swift was coming up, and she apparently didn't get to do a lot of high school things, because such as go to prom, because she was a country music star. Mm-hmm. So you can't just go to prom if you're Taylor Swift. Well, MTV held this contest to see who any kid from across the country who would take Taylor Swift to prom. Well, it turned out to be the guy who was the football coach at Dora High School when Sarah was there, and when I was in high school, his son. won the contest and took her to Hillcrest, Tuscaloosa's prom. And I just thought it's like, 2000, that's probably 2007 or something. And now she's giving commencement speeches at NYU. And I'm just like, how many of those NYU students were curious what Taylor Swift had to say as a commencement speaker? I mean, you barely went to high school.
Well, see, your thought process is way different than mine. I go to, as prom dates go, Taylor Swift would be tough to top, I think.
Yeah, but she's a much better prom date than I would assume a commencement speaker. I don't know.
What exactly do you have to offer us regarding education, Taylor? With all
this is my question, because it's not like she went to. She may have gone to college, but she probably didn't do it the way NYU.
No, not conventionally.
Right. So, like, how are you gonna tell me?
That's interesting. That's yeah.
Anyway,
from that thought process, that's certainly an interesting choice as commencement speaker. I mean, what are you going to say?
I don't know that I would have accepted, but anyway.
Hey, any publicity is good publicity, right?
There you go.
Because what I was thinking when I saw this trending on Twitter was, I've not heard anything about Taylor Swift in a while. She's been pretty quiet. She got something coming?
Maybe not. I'm not sure. Maybe that's why she's been quiet. She's been working on this commencement speech.
There you go. Hey, whatever you do, be sure and buy my new downloads. Yeah.
There you go. All right, let's take a break and talk about the Braves, who are, I guess, still winning 4-3. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Back after this.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
We made it to the second half here on this Hump Day edition of Main Street Sports Today. Coming up, we'll talk with Maren Angus, a little college softball, and co-host of the Running Polls podcast, our resident specialist in the field. Also, this day in Braves history, number 3. This is a good one. And Wild and Wacky Wednesday. To continue that theme, we send you back to the wild and wacky colors of one Mo Patton and Chris Yao. Gentlemen,
this isn't wild or wacky. Powder blue?
Wild, for you it is. I don't see you in powder blue very often. It looks good. I told you that, though. It looks good.
A little known fact, actually, in another life, I put together a softball team, and we wore powder blue on blue.
Powder blue and navy.
I know that's one of your favorite colors.
Yeah.
I just don't see you in it very often.
Well, I need to fix
it. Looks
because he's not a North Carolina fan.
That's right.
No, I'm not. But yeah, I like this. Yeah, this is good stuff.
It is solid. Hey, the Braves are 6 outs away from another win and a series win, but to get there, they've got to get through 2/3 of the Brewers' batting order. Spencer Strider, however, a perfect 7th inning with 3 strikeouts. So maybe we just let him go. Just I mean, who else you gonna throw out there? Clearly working.
I know who we're gonna throw out there.
Oh yeah. Well, he only pitched for one batter. No, 2 batters last night. No. Yes. One.
You only face 1 batter.
No, he walked a batter. Then he got the ground out to third base.
Yes, you're right. Because there were 2 runners on when he came in.
Right.
He walked the batter to load the bases.
That's correct.
Then Austin Riley saved his derriere.
His derriere.
Yes.
You know, Will Smith is an experience, buddy.
Matt, it's the Will Smith experience, part 2.
and here's the thing.
Second verse, same as the first.
If you were watching the broadcast, and I know you weren't listening to it because you were writing, but 2-2 pitch, he throws one that is in the dirt in the right-hand batter's box. And Peter Moylan's just like, that's just not competitive. Like you have to do better than that on 2-2. You can't just, are you kidding me? He's not going to offer it that.
I've seen some chatter on Twitter about, Peter Moylan and Brian Jordan on this broadcast crew, and it's not necessarily been favorable. I like those guys. I think anything that's missing with those 2 guys is just a lack of doing games. They've been studio guys. And I guess Francoeur isn't traveling right now. I'm not sure what circumstances are with them, but I like Moylan. I like Jordan. I like Paul Bird in the booth. I like their insight.
They are incredibly tactful too. I mean, they will tell you what they mean, but try to do it in a way that doesn't make you feel bad about it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think as former players, they have a lot to offer. I think as former players, they're not going to just unload on guys necessarily.
Sure.
But at the same time, Moylan making that comment, that's not competitive. I mean, he's saying what everybody knows.
There's that. Yeah. That's just not a competitive pitch. You got to do better.
Yeah. So.
And, that's the thing about Will Smith is there are times where he is incredibly gifted and just blows through people with that slider. And then sometimes he couldn't locate it if, you paid him $1 million to put it in the strike zone. He just couldn't do it. And that's the Will Smith experience. It is what it is.
No doubt.
And AJ Minter, who got 3 outs by the way, and before walking 2 people. and that's Minter has been pretty darn good this year. He was a little frustrated last night, and I think he let it get the best of him. And after that first walk, he let it snowball.
Well, he had pitched the bottom of the 7th or some portion of the bottom of the 7th as well, hadn't he? Because didn't he blow Colton Wong away with a chest-high fastball to end that inning?
Yeah, so he got the last out of the 7th and then got 2 outs in the 8th. That was before walking 2. Yeah, I mean, AJ Minter was and has been all year long really, really good. So this bullpen has to be the best part of this team. If our starting pitching, no matter whether it's Max Fried or Tucker Davidson, gets you to the 6th inning, you've got to finish the game off.
Absolutely. Well, especially considering I don't think the Braves have won a game yet when they were trailing after 8. So if you've got a lead that deep, you've got to be able to protect it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's even more imperative for the rest of these bullpen guys to get it done with Matzik now going on the IL and with
Luke Jackson
gone. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And last night, we knew the Braves were going to win because, well, as you see on the screen, the Braves have yet to lose 3 games in a row.
Of course, now they also have yet to win 3 games in a row.
Well, we said that, I think we said that last Wednesday. And so on the run of show, I just changed win to lose because, we were giving them grief last week. We hadn't won 3 games in a row. Well, we also haven't lost 3 games in a row. And you remember last year we had the 14-game set where we won, lost, won, lost, won, lost.
Mm-hmm. So. It's like I was saying to you off air earlier, last night as I was contemplating Braves and Brewers, I remembered, okay, so they lost the final game of the San Diego series. They lost the first game in Milwaukee, so we're golden tonight, right?
Golden, baby.
And sure enough.
Tucker Davidson with a heck of a performance. Got to give him credit.
I think whittled that ERA down from 16.88 so with 5 scoreless, and then Ozuna with a no-doubter. I thought that one was going to get out of the park.
The only doubt was, did he keep it fair?
Did he keep it fair? Did he keep it? Never changed, Chip. Never changed.
And Acuna with the trying to keep it fair.
That was amazing.
Phenomenal. It's been and he had a great game last night. Has not had a great game today, but he had a good game last night. And but that's what you got to expect from a guy who's coming back from a couple of injuries, who's trying to work his way in. He hasn't seen major league pitching. It's just how it is. You know, it's going to take him a little bit of time. And I'm certainly not going to be upset if it takes Acuna just a little bit of time to get ready, because once he is there, he's the best player on the team, and it's not close.
Yeah.
Still sitting in the bottom of the 8th. Strikeout. There we go. Let's see who is pitching. It appears that Will Smith is pitching, and of course there was a full count before.
Well, you knew Will Smith was pitching before you even looked. It's the 8th inning. We've got a lead.
It comes out on Tuesday. Let's and before we get out of here, I got to talk about how ridiculous it is that the Braves and Brewers are playing a noon baseball game on a day before both teams are off. I don't understand it.
In May.
I mean, I get it's a getaway day, but why are we worried about these guys traveling? They've got a whole off day. Get on the plane tonight.
And it's not even traveling from the West Coast. I mean, it's Milwaukee to Atlanta. It's
just one time zone.
It's not Seattle to Boston.
No. So whatever. Anyway, Major League Baseball scheduling. What are you going to do?
Anything that Rob Manfred has anything to do with is liable to be messed up. So
no question there. Braves still lead 4-3, 1 out, bottom of the 8th. Nobody on, but there is a 2-0 count on whoever's hitting. I don't know.
Hunter Renfroe, I believe.
Oh, well, it is in fact Hunter Renfroe from Mississippi State.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? Let's take a quick break because we're going to talk some softball. But before we do that, I have to send it to Mo to give you this day in Braves history.
May 18th, 1979, Dale Murphy hits 3 home runs, drives in 5 in 3 at-bats to pace the Atlanta Braves to a 6-4 win over the San Francisco Giants.
That seems good.
That's pretty good. 5 RBIs and a 6-4 win.
And three homers and 3 at-bats. It's like, maybe we just don't pitch to him the 4th time. And they didn't, apparently. If they saw him a 4th time, they certainly didn't pitch to him.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. Maren Angus, co-host of the Running Polls podcast, talks a little NCAA softball with us right after this. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. We'll be back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Chris Yao alongside Mo Patton here, coming to you from my humble abode in Columbia. Technically, I'm not in Columbia. I am in the county. But that's okay. It's close enough. I have a Columbia mailing address. How's that? Does that work? We've got a lot to talk about in this segment because the NCAA softball tournament is getting ready to commence. And to talk about it, we need to bring in some experts because, I mean, I'm not an expert by any means, but I certainly feel like I know a little something. And I won't say the rest of that phrase, Mo. I do know a little something. And regionals will take part this weekend. And to talk about that, we have Maren Angus of Running Poles Podcast. Maren Angus Coombs.
Combs.
With two O's.
Yeah, I know.
That's not how you spell Combs.
I know my in-laws got it all screwed up, I guess. I don't know.
Such is life. Nothing you can do about it. Such is
life. Isn't that weird? Last time I was on here, I wasn't married.
It is weird. What's up? How did that
got married. It was awesome. I want to have another party because the party was the best part.
Well, how long have you been married?
Since April 2nd. So
well, I mean, so June 2nd would be 2 months. I mean, that's reason enough for a party.
And my birthday is July 1st, so
that's, there you go.
You know,
well, it's too bad. It's too bad I'm already booked to DJ that day, or I would just throw a party for you.
Oh, okay.
I apologize.
You can throw a party in my honor. Go ahead.
I'll tell Caitlin Birch that I'm playing a song for you. Okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I'm sure she won't mind if I play another person a song at her wedding. She'll be fine.
No. Okay. No, that's fine. That's fine.
Oh, Maren, what's going on? Or how excited are you to get this Women's College World Series started?
I'm excited. I think there's going to be some upsets. Actually, I'm pumped.
I think you're right. I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, I don't know. Your team is kind of in a cakewalk regional, but that's fine. We'll let Alabama have that.
Well, not only are they in a cakewalk regional, they're the number 6 seed overall. So if they get out of that region and if Tennessee does what it's supposed to do, then Tennessee goes to Tuscaloosa in that super. So
that is
they're
true.
not just in a cakewalk region. They might be in a cakewalk to Oklahoma City.
Right. I mean, Tennessee tends to choke in the postseason. So I don't know.
They've not played well in a while.
No. I think they're lucky that they're out where they're at.
I was about to say, I think they might be a little overseeded at 11.
I agree with that, but the SEC and the strength of schedule and RPI says differently. So we'll let them have that 11 seed.
Well, despite the fact that Arkansas, the regular season champ and tournament champ, is just the 4 seed overall.
Oh, there's so many weird things. Like, I think Arkansas is about where they should be, but the one that stood out to me was UCLA. UCLA did not win the Pac-12. They lost the head-to-head series to Arizona State, yet they managed to get a higher national seed than Arizona State.
Well, yeah, but not just one, not a higher seed, but they're the 5 seed while Arizona State sits at 8.
Right.
And UCLA ends up with Duke in the super regional, the 12th seeded Lady Blue Devils. But hey, Duke is no pushover. So as we've talked about on this show,
no,
so
they are no pushover.
This seeding has some head scratchers.
Yeah, but kudos to the ACC for getting as many hosts as they got. It just shows that conference is coming along with Duke and Clemson both hosting. And when we talk about Duke, last year they were sent to Athens to be the 1
as the number 1 seed.
And now Georgia is going to Durham as the 2 seed.
So the NCAA never forgets then, huh?
They never forget. never forget.
That's interesting. Okay, Duke, we kind of screwed you last year. Here's the even up.
Yeah. See how you can handle this.
And the other side of the bracket is Georgia and Liberty. I mean, Liberty no pushover either. So that's a tough region to get out of if you're Duke to even get a chance to get to UCLA, who sees Ole Miss in their region. So,
and if I'm not looking at the bracket in front of me, but remind me who the 4 seed is in that one.
The 4 seed is Grand Canyon.
Okay. That's not a pushover either.
So, I mean, GCU has certainly made a name for themselves over the last few years as well. So absolutely, this is a softball tournament that you said could see a lot of upsets. I mean, again, Tennessee's got Oregon State in their region. Arkansas has Oregon, who has traditionally been very good. Obviously, hasn't had their best year, but it's the playoffs, and you can't count anybody out.
Well, not just that. Not just so. Let's talk about Fayetteville for a second.
Let's talk about Fayetteville.
The 3 seed is Wichita, correct?
The 3 seed is yes, Wichita State. Sorry.
Okay, Wichita is should be playing for a regional final against Arkansas. They hands down one of the best teams in the country with one of the best offenses. And not just one of the best offenses, but they have what I think the softball media calls the player of the year in Addison Barnard, who leads the country in home runs and RBIs. And she did not get the respect she deserved from USA Softball. She did not make the initial list of player of the year finalists. And then when they dwindled it down, they didn't even add her. So watch out for Fayetteville and Wichita State.
Wichita coming out of the MVC, is that right? Or are they in the AAC?
No, American. They're the American. And they're at-large American. So watch out.
Well, who's the tournament champ?
UCF. UCF hosting as the number 16 seed.
Yeah, I was going to say UCF got a national seed, which obviously the reward for that is a trip to Norman if you win.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks for nothing. Yeah,
I'd rather be the 2 seed in Northwestern's region or something. I don't know.
I was thinking about that when I was looking at the bracket the other day. I was like, man, I don't think I'd want to be a 16 seed.
There's no question.
I mean, I know it's awesome to host and to be the first mid-major since JMU a while back to host, but I don't think I'd want to host as a 16 and then go to Norman.
Well, I mean, it's bragging rights. You get to say you're a national seed, but the devil is in the details on that one, I think. Wait a minute. Okay, what you got to do next? Oh, never mind.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And then you've got Missouri hosting as well, and I don't think if they didn't make it to the championship of the SEC tournament, I don't think they would have been hosting. But here they are hosting, and
Missouri State coming to them, going,
Missouri,
really?
Right. And congratulations, let's give you Nebraska.
Oh yeah. I mean, no, Nebraska's not in that.
That's Stillwater. That's a 7 seed in Oklahoma State. There we go.
Gotcha. Yeah. So Missouri would get Florida State if they were to get out. So just the number 2 seed overall. What you're telling me in this Fayetteville region is that if Arkansas and Wichita State are playing for the region championship, that it might be 22-17.
Liftoff. We have liftoff.
I mean, it's gonna be bombs away in Fayetteville.
Bombs away in Fayetteville, but not just bombs away in Fayetteville. Bombs away also in Tempe with Arizona State and San Diego State. San Diego State's a 3 seed in Tempe because LSU was sent as the 2 seed.
They sent a lot of 12 out of 13 SEC teams made the tournament. For those of you who aren't aware,
5 hosting, is that right?
Yeah, but they sent LSU out west. They sent Ole Miss out west. They certainly didn't make it easy for the SEC to get a whole bunch of teams in, which it shouldn't be. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's hard to do that when the SEC doesn't have. They can't all host.
No, absolutely.
Well, tell them that though.
They can't all host.
It does just mean more. Remember,
it does just mean more. I do like. Now that we have the bracket in front of us, this is lovely, producer. Thank you. I mean, that 4 seed in Duke is UMBC, actually, not Grand Canyon, right? Yep, UMBC. Now UMBC is led by Chris Kohlmeyer, who used to coach at Belmont. He actually lives in Nashville. A good friend of mine.
Really? So he's commuting?
He lives in Baltimore during the season and then lives in Nashville in the off season. So, he has now won 3 conference titles in a row.
Would you live in Baltimore all year round if you didn't have to? It's a little cold, man.
Hey, crab cakes though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I guess there's that. He's not wrong there.
I mean, there's so much. There's so much. But if I were to pick an upset, if you're gonna ask me that question,
sure, we'll ask you.
Pick an upset, Maren?
Pick an upset. I would pick. I would pick Nebraska over Oklahoma State.
She asked us to ask her a question, and then she doesn't have an
answer. First of all, and then she gave a homer answer on top of that.
I'm not a homer. I'm not a homer. I'm not a homer. I'm only picking them because they are just so good.
She said as she wears her red top.
No, this is a work shirt.
That just happens to be red.
It just happens to be red. It's not it does not say Nebraska.
It just says Omaha.
It just says Omaha.
Maren, we can't have you on. Maren Angus of the Running Poles podcast. We can't have you on to talk about softball without revisiting the news from about 3 weeks ago of a certain Southeastern Conference athletic program adding a women's sport that was not, in fact, softball. Were you shocked to hear that Vanderbilt added volleyball?
No, not really. That was actually on the table, I know, but I know that
easier to paint some lines, Mo, than it is to build a field.
Exactly. You can move into a gym easier than you can build a stadium.
And there's fewer scholarships to deal with. So
I just know because I've been out at some high school softball tournaments since that announcement, and I know there's a lot of disappointment, even though the answer is, we got a gym, we don't have a softball field. Right. I get it, but there's a lot of disappointment there. So just kind of wanted to get your take on that.
I think it's still going to happen. I'm still holding out. I think it's still going to happen. I think now that you see teams like Duke and Clemson that are hosting before they're 5 years old, like Clemson, I mean, you can't take it off the table.
And in this region, in this area where there's so much good softball, I would think that they could ramp up just as quickly. So,
right.
It'll be interesting.
I agree.
Vanderbilt, a national brand for academics as well. And let's face it, there are a lot more smart females than there are smart males. So the field shrinks a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So, Maren, obviously, we can't have you on without asking you to give us your champion today. We'll have you on before the World Series, but give us your champion today.
Arkansas.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's go.
I don't know how you're gonna pick. I don't know how you're gonna pick against the number 1 seed, but hey, go ahead.
I'm picking against the number 1 seed because right now the number 1 seed is without their ace. She did not pitch in the Big 12 tournament, and I do believe that they are beatable.
There you go.
Okay.
If she's not pitching, they are absolutely beatable because Arkansas again will bombs away.
Bombs away.
And
I mean, bombs away for Oklahoma too, but bombs away.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the SEC pitcher of the year is pitching for Arkansas. So
sure.
There is that. And they have the 2-time defending coach of the year as well. So
yeah.
Big tournament getting ready to start again on Friday. I apologize. Friday schedule. I know the Norman region will kick off on ESPN2 Friday at 5 with Texas A&M and Minnesota. That should be a lot of fun. And then Oklahoma and Prairie View will be after that. Let's see any other national broadcast games. LSU San Diego State on ESPNU Friday at 8 o'clock. Also on ESPNU at noon on Friday, Liberty and Georgia. That will be must-see TV.
That'll be a good game.
Yes, absolutely. Game. Find that game. Weber State and Texas on the Longhorn Network.
I don't have the Longhorn Network.
Maren, I hesitate to ask you, given what has taken place with this program this year, but who is this year's JMU?
Oh, man. Who is this year's JMU?
That's a tough one.
I know. Louisiana? Lafayette?
The Raging Cajuns.
Does that, I mean, they've been there before, but it's either them or
I mean, could it be Liberty? I mean, with UCLA being the 5 seed out of that Duke region?
No, I think your other option is South Florida.
Gotcha.
Georgina Corrick is their ace. She's a top 3 finalist for Player of the Year. Or I don't know. Does San Diego State? There you go. Ding, ding, ding. San Diego State.
San Diego State. That's your final answer?
Final answer.
Okay. All right.
Well, to get to the World Series, they'd have to go through Oklahoma, but good luck to them.
Yeah.
Maren,
good luck to anybody going through Oklahoma.
Right. Maren, we appreciate it as always. Running Polls Podcast, runningpollspodcast.com. Go check it out. It is awesome. And you can learn a lot about college softball there and softball in general. We appreciate your time as always.
Thanks for having me, as always.
All right, we're going to take a quick break because it is Wild and Wacky Wednesday, and we'll get to the weirdest and wildest news from across the world right here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. What's up? What's up? It is the final segment on this Wild and Wacky Wednesday edition of Main Street Sports Today. I am Chris Yao. I am joined, as always, by the Hall of Famer, Mo Patton. JP, back in the Berg. What's up, buddy?
Howdy.
How's the Berg today, JP?
The Berg is warm, but nice. So there was, a threat of maybe some potential severe weather in Middle Tennessee, but it's all that way.
Well, Bree Smith of News Channel 5 last night said it along and north of I-40.
Yeah, that's good.
So I gave her a big thumbs up when I heard that.
There you go. Yeah.
Appreciate it, right?
So it's been nice down here, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Bree Smith. I like her.
All right. Looks like
apparently
there you
we're
go.
Back.
You're back.
We're back.
Okay.
We're back.
You were frozen up on me there for a moment.
Yeah.
I'm making sure that I'm not, choppy.
No.
Okay. I was like, I was missing some. I was hearing Mo, but I wasn't hearing Mo through my earphones. So it's like something ain't right.
That's not the first time that's happened, Mo, is it?
No.
You hear me, but are you hearing me?
Man.
We ain't got enough time in the show.
There's a difference.
Yeah, no doubt.
We don't have enough time in the show. No, seriously. Wild and Wacky Wednesday. If you would like for your business to be the sponsor of Wild and Wacky Wednesday, you can let us know. We'll put your name and business and all your information right there on the lower third.
Show them where to be, JP.
There you go.
So, Yeah, right there.
Your name here.
Yeah, your name here.
Hang on, I can make that happen.
We'll let's see here. We'll start in Florida. Well, of course we'll start in Florida. Last week we were in there you go. We were in Texas all week last week. A Lakeland, Florida scrapper who does scrap metal. Are we off?
Nope, we're good.
No, we're good.
On.
Okay. He just hadn't played the music yet.
Sorry.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
I was
So he was he scraps metal, and apparently there are some people who this is a business. Remind me to tell you guys about the Small Town Murder podcast episode that starts with some guys who started a scrap metal business and had it for 48 hours before they gave up on it. It's a great story. Incident occurred Saturday, May 14th at the Huntington Summit neighborhood just off of Duff Road in Lakeland, Florida, when a man stopped in it looks like a Chevy S10 with an extended cab.
Mm-hmm.
Has a washing machine and looks like maybe a bicycle in the back of the truck.
Okay.
He stops and picks up one of those robot lawnmowers because it was just stopped. I guess it was resting. And so it's $1,000 lawnmower, and he just picked it up. And I hope he took it to the scrapyard and got like $100 for it.
Did he mow the yard like our last?
That's what I was going to
thief?
say. He did not mow he didn't let the yard continue to get mowed. That is ridiculous. I cannot believe that you would do this. Mo,
come on, man.
Now I know, you've said on this show that your golf game struggles at times.
That's one way to put it.
I don't play golf very often, but when I'm even if I'm at Top Golf, I hit it into the nets a lot. So, and not the ones that give you points.
Okay. Yeah, the ones on the side.
How about this? Florida man found on the side of I-75 hitting golf balls.
Hey, is he hitting at cars passing by?
No. He's hitting them down the side. There's this big wide area on the side of I-75, and he is hitting them straight, just right down the.
going for a record drive. That's how you do it. You hit the car path. Just a big car path.
Kind of like on Tin Cup, right?
There you go.
Turns and takes a 7-iron and hits it all the way down the road. So you got to be careful. And finally, before we get out of here, last week's, I didn't get the chance to talk about it, but it is election season, Mo. And in Lebanon, Indiana, an Indiana man is one of 3 winners in a GOP primary and will appear on this year's ballot for a township board seat, except that he is currently in jail for the murder of his wife.
Okay. Has I guess just charged? Has he had a trial?
He has only been charged.
Trial? Okay.
He is awaiting trial, but here's the thing.
Being held without bail, I take it, or didn't make bail?
Yeah, held without bail, and
he was saving it for the campaign funds, Mo.
Well, here's the thing. All 3 of them can win because there's only 3. There's 3 seats, and there's only 3 people running. So,
so you're saying there's a chance?
I'm saying he's going to win.
Okay.
Apparently, quote, there is no legal reason he can't be a candidate. Under our system, you're innocent until proven guilty, and if a person is convicted of a felony, they're no longer eligible to hold office. But any notary public can administer an oath of office, and that can be in any setting in which the person is available to have the oath administered and sign the oath of office.
Including
up to and including incarceration.
That's America for you.
Wow.
Hey.
Oh, we're not done.
Live by the creed, die by the creed.
Oh, but wait, there's more.
But wait,
there's more. Even better, in Palmhurst, Texas, a special election will now take place after Palmhurst residents voted for their recently deceased mayor to retain his position.
Okay.
Ramiro Rodriguez Jr. defeated challenger Israel Silva in Saturday's election, 329 to 234, despite having recently passed away. Listen, this is what I mean by uninformed voters making decisions. I'm just saying, we've got dead people winning. We've got incarcerated people winning. All I'm saying is maybe we should read a newspaper, such as
Main Street Murray. Ideally.
I'm just saying. The Atlanta Braves, bottom of the ninth, runner on second, 2 outs, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
2 balls.
No. Well, you're a pitch ahead of me.
Yeah.
To Nashville Sounds legend Colton Wong.
I was hoping we're going to get over before we get off the air, but I don't know.
No, because it's now 3 balls, 2 strikes. Because the Atlanta Braves love 3-ball, 2-strike counts. They couldn't live without them. We'll talk softball tomorrow, and hopefully the teams that are listed in the Main Street Preps article will still be in it.
Well, they will, because these are our region finals today.
That's right. So we'll talk about softball tomorrow since we got baseball done today. We'll also have Centennial softball coach
Jeff Serbin
and
Landon Sechrist
talking NBA.
There we go.
So come back tomorrow at 2:00. Hopefully we will be in better settings.
These settings are fine.
The settings are fine.
It's just that they were kind of forced on us.
And quickly, I might add, we got this all set up in like 20 minutes. So, JP, we appreciate you being flexible as always. We'll see you guys tomorrow from Columbia.
Call me the accordion.
Have a great day.